Welcome to the housing conversation. Local markets, real lives, better decisions, great stuff. That's Jake
Yeah.
Johnson. He's a realtor. I'm Brian Smyth, mortgage guy. What's happening? Welcome. Here we go again.
No, yeah, spring is here. That's for sure. Along with bad weather, because I love 75 and then torrential storms at night. This is great. This is totally normal. What is wrong with us living in this state? But on
100%.
that note, I will say, if you know you have a sump pump, make sure it works. If you think you're going to have bad rain, just check your gutters. These are very simple steps, but people don't do them, and then they get water in their basement. And remember that water in your basement is not a bad thing. Just tell us. It's okay. We get it. Stuff happens.
That's
Like
part of
you
being
didn't do
here.
something wrong. Mm-hmm.
Yes. That's the yeah, well, so yeah, to kind of to date this, where we're a little bit ahead, but the on our recordings, but 2 a.m. last night, 1:30 to 2 a.m. We were in the basement with the kids, and they were
Oh
like,
yeah.
"What are we gonna do?" And I was like, "It's fine. I don't know. I don't know what the actual odds are, but I feel." We were okay by my house. There were sirens going and there was terror and I was like, whatever. This is part of living in Wisconsin.
Yep.
And I was happy to have my nicely finished basement to go hang out in during a storm, which is nice. Stay
Yeah.
away from windows.
Exactly. Yep. No kidding. Yeah. We sirens kicked on, and we live in an old house, like 1901 built, so it's old. But like that
Yeah.
basement's not going anywhere.
No.
Um. So the dogs, I have four of them because I'm insane, and they don't like stairs at all. Well, three of them like stairs. The biggest one is like, no, Dad, I won't do stairs. So we have to carry him down them. It's just phony, but they were fine. And then the sirens went off and everyone went back to bed and it was great. But like, yeah, we got lucky. It missed us. There were places not far from us that got hit pretty good, and trees came down and lost power and stuff. But hey,
Well, that's
all
kind of
good.
the thing is so like I'm out in Ozaki County, Wisconsin.
Mhm.
Are you Dane?
We're in Jefferson County in Johns Creek.
Jefferson?
Yep.
Yeah, so you kind of get that knock on wood, it feels like more tornadoes happen out in the middle,
Yep.
out towards your area.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
don't know how all the thermodynamics and the science works behind it, but um, maybe I should watch that Helen Hunt movie again. Twisters. I don't know. So funny.
I love it.
Anyway, yeah, so it was wet, it was crazy, and then today it's beautiful again, and
Yeah, it's great.
my son was like, "Oh, look, it's like it never happened. There's just puddles." I was
Hmm.
like, "Yep, this is
Yep.
okay. This is the way the world
No
works."
kidding. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, other than weather, what are you seeing out in the world? What's the weather in real estate?
Yeah, the weather is good. I think the biggest thing is you got to keep having conversations with people, which is why you and I started this podcast, right? Like, so I just
Hmm.
came from a meeting with a friend of mine who's a commercial realtor, but he has two residential properties. We are just talking through all the options. Do you list them both? Do you put them in delayed status? Do you list them at a aspirational price? Do you list it at a selling price? Like, what do you want to do? And when we have open conversations about that, everyone's very happy with the result in the end. Um, if you go into a process where listings are buying, where you're like, I'm going to spend X, and I'm like, that's great. X would be wonderful. Likely, it may not be that number. Either the location will change, the price will change, the amenities will change, and that's all part of the process. That's not a bad thing. Um, it's not as simple as I want to spend X and I need to be here. I mean, sometimes it is, but for the most part, we're having those conversations. So I feel like that's the big thing I'm seeing is, and I was talking to somebody about this a few months ago, and we're not just agents, we're advisors, and we're advising you on current market conditions, what it takes to win, where we're seeing success, where we're not seeing success, hot markets, cold. Like that's our job. You
Hmm.
don't when you invest in a financial advisor, you don't expect them to be like, you're going to do one thing and it'll work. That would be bad. And you should fire them if they do. But like my job is to come up with a lot of different options, and then you pick the one that works best for you, and we go do that. And that's what I'm seeing more so is that advising is super key right now.
Yep. I think that's super true. And it kind of leads me into kind of what the main topic in my head ends up being is I gonna get your take on this. The two kind of different stories. The first one I'll share is guy who's like, I'm not sure how to make an offer that is right. So you get
Mm,
it, call it $500,000 house. And he's like, I think it's worth
mm,
425. And I'm like,
yep.
why? Okay, talk to your agent. And he's like,
Mhm.
well, how do I make a reasonable assessment on that? So I can have a kind of a knowledgeable effort when I get to the conversation with the agent. And I'm like, I don't
Yep.
know, look at past sales. Look at why do you feel like it's 425 would be where I would start in
Mhm.
that conversation. He's like, oh, good
Yep.
question. And I'm like, it just you arbitrary throwing numbers
Yeah.
out. Like,
I
yeah,
like that number.
you
Those are
know,
good. I like
that feels
fives.
like the
Yeah.
number that I want to pay a mortgage at. And I'm like, yeah,
Yep.
like, I get that. That's cool. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have access to running CMAs. So I'm not doing the,
Yeah.
comparative market analysis. I'm not doing that. That's not inside my lane. I like to really try and stay inside my expertise.
Yeah. Right.
So, right, like, fine. So it's that funny, like, what do you expect from a buyer? That they have the ability to spend the money, but should they
Mhm.
have, educate, like what's the education process? What should they come to the table knowing? Where could they
Yeah.
go to know that stuff?
Definitely. So it's interesting because a really good resource is just talking to people in
Mhm.
the industry, right? Saying, "Hey, what looks seems to be selling recently? What kind of stuff?" If you know people who've sold in your neighborhood, find out what they sold their house for. People like to talk about it. Depending on your county, you can sometimes find that information on a county page or a municipality page. Zillow is a great tool. It people don't have to like it or hate it, whatever, but it's a great tool to give you data. After a house closes, Zillow tells you what it sold for, and then they'll give you his estimate, and this estimate is based off of stuff near there aggregated together what it sold for. But at the end of the day, there's all tools. I like doing comparative market analysis. Hey, here's three comps for your neighborhood. Here's what they sold for. Here's why they worked that way. Was it a ranch? Was it a two-story home? Did it have a finished basement? Did it not? Does it have a fenced-in yard? Does it not? Because those are important too, right? Um, at the end of the day, I always have this conversation with my clients. Do you want to, sell your house, or do you want to be right? And those are two different things sometimes. And do you want to buy a house, or do you want to right, or do you want to own a home, or do you want to get a lesson learned? And like
Right.
when you play it out that way, and you lose a couple times, I'm like, we've learned lessons. Now
Yes.
let's go buy a house, and that's okay. That's part of the process. It doesn't bother me. But what I will say is, if it's a difference of $5,000, right? Would you want to lose the house because you weren't willing to pay $50 more a month in mortgage payment? And
Hmm.
people are like, oh, yeah. I'm like, so if you're comfortable with it, then that's okay. Just be ready for that. But if it was 50 or $100 a month in mortgage payment and you got your dream house and
Is
you were
that worth
approved
it?
for it, yeah.
And
And
it's
that's,
also so funny to me, the numbers don't. I make it really loose, really basic, not accurate, but like,
right.
wow, let's divide $10,000 by 360 months. Like, we haven't accounted for interest or anything, but like,
Yeah.
just in your like
Mm-hmm.
stroke, what does that look like? And people are like,
Yes.
oh, not as bad as I thought. I go,
Yes.
remember, $10,000 on the selling side is like, let me pull it out of my pocket and hand it to you
Right.
today.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
remembering these things, working through negotiation,
Yeah.
being communicative as always,
Mm-hmm.
chat, negotiate, be rational. There you go. The second that I will bring to you is a buyer goes and says, I'm working with this agent, right? It's out of state, it's out, it's gone, it's whatever. They are working primarily virtually, from what I understand.
Sure.
Says, I'm found a for sale by owner. I'm worried that they're going to not like that I'm bringing a buyer's agent. Brian, what do you do? And I'm like, wow, that's a really hard thing for me to answer
Yeah.
because man, I love me some real estate agents and I believe in them and I think they're so important. Um,
Yeah.
right. So like, I mean, that's like the person spinning the plates in the transaction. I got my own
Mhm.
plates. I'm like, well, I love when there's somebody working with me on deals, one,
Yeah.
because I think that's better. I think they are valuable. I think that's a whole nother thing. But the other,
Oh,
but
yeah.
where I kind of came to is what are they doing for you? You got to find your way, right?
Mhm.
First, very first, I go, did they sign a buyer's agency with you?
Exactly. Yep.
And he's like, no. I'm like,
Oh,
that's hard. That's hard to defend.
problem.
For me, I'm
Yeah.
like, know your value, do your job, get that buyer's agency signed. This
Mhm.
is a contractual situation. This is a
Yep.
job. This is your life. This is your livelihood.
Mhm.
Do the hard stuff, This is
Yeah.
just that's part of it. It should not be a
Mhm.
surprise. And then, he kind of got in. He's like, well, I said, is he showing you where's your point of no return? Right. So then I kind
Mhm.
of went, you're a decent human being. What's your point of no return? Where are you looking? Well, like, did they show up and like walk through a bunch of properties and like FaceTime and are they doing the thing, or
Mhm.
are they just put you on a search and go, here's numbers that work in cities that match you? Like,
Yep.
where, what's have they driven 300 miles with you and shown you 50 houses and written 10
Right.
declined offers that you're just
Right.
grinding out? Like, there
Mhm.
are,
There's levels. Mhm.
correct. Like, what's your point of no return, and where do you land on that? And what does your heart say?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's very true.
I kind of left it like that, but what's your opinion on that? It feels like the buyer's agency caught your attention.
Yeah, because you're supposed to do it
Yeah.
before you show a house. It's supposed to be signed, so you should be doing that. But if
Are
you
you
don't have
allowed
a
to
buyer
show a
agency,
house without that? I see that a little bit now
no,
too. You're
no,
not even
you're not supposed
allowed
to.
to, without
Not
buyer's
supposed to.
agency, not
Nope,
allowed to take them in.
you're not supposed to.
Okay,
And for a lot of reasons. One, then you as an agent can't give anything but publicly available information. So if I
sure.
can't give you my market expertise because we don't have an agreement like that. And technically, I work for the seller at that point. So why would they want me to undercut them? Um, so yeah, you should sign it first of all. Plus, now you're not having a conversation about commission before you see a home. It's kind of important to know how we get paid and when we get paid. So those are just two basic reasons why to do it. But beyond all that, it's for this exact reason. If you do it for sale by owner, and I sent it to you in marketing, hey, I saw this for sale by owner. What are your thoughts? And that for sale by owner says, hey, we don't want to pay any agents. Okay, cool. You as a buyer agent, you as a buyer have signed an agreement with me and my firm to pay compensation in lieu of a seller paying it.
Hmm.
So we're going to figure it out together, but you will be paying me something. Um, Now, with that said, for the most part, for sell by owners just don't want to pay both commissions. They would rather pay
Right.
one commission. And that's when I talk to the seller and I say, hey, what's the concern? Oh, you don't want to pay a listing price. Okay, no big deal. We've got a buyer here for you. How about we do this? If my commission was say, let's normally say it's 3%. What if we did 3.5%? And I will be a resource to you to help you understand policies, procedures, paperwork, all that kind of fun stuff. And you'll sign what's called a disclosure to customer. So then that person is now a customer of mine. I can give
Hmm.
them, they get protection from the firm, they get protection from me, but I still, have delineated out that my primary is the buyer. That's an easy way to do it. And it also protects everyone in the transaction. I'm going to end up giving brokerage services to that seller anyway, because we're going to talk about stuff. And I'll be like, yeah, it's not really how it works. So why not just formalize it and be like, here's this percentage or a flat fee? You could say, hey, you're going to pay me $500 and the commission to me, and I'll
Yeah.
give you all this great service. Wouldn't that work for you?
I just think it's
Because they're going to end up
nuts.
paying an attorney anyway.
It's nuts that people would do this kind of a transaction the size of dollars that moves without somebody who does this and understands the contracts. One, two, I also go back and I'm like, look, what kind of information, what could they possibly deliver me? And I'm like, well, okay, let's see what kind of properties are out there. You looking at a single family? You looking at a multifamily? You looking at a condo? You looking at HOA fees? No HOA fees? What about the condo docs? Have you ever seen condo docs?
Right.
Like where,
Right.
like, what is the rent numbers? What is the
Mhm.
reserve numbers? What's the reserve
Yeah.
study? Like, there's crazy
Yep.
stuff. Like, oh, this HOA says you can't have a second car. Like, what? Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
how about your
Mhm.
dog? How much does it weigh?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Mhm.
Like, oh man, where are we at
Yeah.
here? So like,
Yep.
there's this huge part of it where I push back and go, well, sure, but you don't know what
Mhm.
you don't know.
Yep.
This is the job of the agent.
Mhm.
This is and then I say too all the time to me, and I believe this is accurate. If you're like, oh, I don't need an agent, they have an agent. Listen,
Hmm.
that agent is beholden to the seller, not to you. So you're not
Correct.
getting the best negotiator for you. You're getting the best negotiator for the person selling to you.
Hmm. Yep.
That's like having the car salesman's manager negotiate on your behalf with his employee.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not going
Okay,
to work.
right.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to work, just not for you.
More than them. Yeah.
Maybe.
And that's,
Well, follow their heart. Like that's the same
hmm.
thing. Like, where are we at? Like,
Yep.
what's the, yeah, you know, I
Yeah.
also look at it and I said too in a couple of conversations this week, because people are like that. I'm like, what, what are they saying or not saying? It's not in your
Hmm.
benefit to like people go,
Hmm.
oh, I was at a house and we met the seller who was there for the showing, which was like,
Hmm.
why? Because they were like, oh, I was really excited and isn't this cool? And I built this. Or,
Hmm.
oh, this is what's gone wrong with, like, here's what, and it's like,
Oh, yeah.
we're really, really motivated to sell. It's the same as walking into a place being like, I don't like this place, or oh, I must have it. And
Yep.
they can figure you out,
Yeah.
so don't show your
Oh, yeah.
hand.
No. But also, like, I think you bring up a good point there. My job as an agent is, yes, to find you properties, and that is part of it, but you're also going to be out there looking, and that's good. That's part of the collaboration is let's find a property
Right.
together. My job is to help protect you, negotiate for you, make sure we hit our timelines, our guidelines, play, coordinator between everybody in the process, and make sure that when we get to closing, you feel good about the purchase. You're not over your budget unless you want to be. You've got everything taken care of you wanted to, like all those things. The title company can't jump in and be that third party for you. They're not. That's not their job. They shouldn't do that. So you need someone. And wouldn't you rather have someone gets paid at closing as opposed to an attorney who gets paid a retainer plus an hourly? Like I'm cheaper for sure. Way cheaper. And I don't, why wouldn't you want that? That's always my thought. Like I'm cheaper. I don't get paid if we don't close. So
Right. Let's
you
go.
pay an attorney
Yeah.
regardless. They're
I
hourly.
think
I'm
that's
cheap.
I think that's good stuff. I think that hits it.
Yeah.
Like it's just work with the people who are supposed to be there working.
Yeah.
Can't say it enough.
Hmm.
If I got a toothache, I'm not going to my eye doctor, you
Right.
know,
Hmm.
like, maybe you can help me see what's going on in the mouth and what the problem is, but he's not fixing it,
Right.
so that's the thing. If
Hmm.
I'm not, go to the person who's the right person for the job.
Yeah.
Work with
Yeah.
experts. Work with people who you like. I'm a big one for that.
That's
What you
true
should
too.
do
Yeah.
is you should interview people. You should talk
Yeah.
to people. You should,
Hmm.
hey, if this is not the right fit, don't just start working with people because I just needed somebody. Find somebody who
Hmm.
you like to talk to and is going to make this
Yeah.
work and is a good match for you in the transaction and the day to
Absolutely.
day until the transaction's done. And
Yeah.
hopefully over and over again in the future for yourself and your family and your friends.
Hmm. Yeah. The purchase is too big to leave it up to chance. You got to feel really good about it. And I always tell clients when I meet with them, I'm like, look, I don't know everything. I'm not a lawyer. I don't do title. I'm not a lender. I'm not an inspector. I'm none of these things. I know those people and
Hmm.
I know good ones and bad ones. And I will tell you who we should talk to, but I don't do it. You're hiring
Yeah.
me because I'm good at this. I'm good at helping you buy and sell homes and do it correctly, protect you. And then when you get to a point where you don't know, we have people to call. Like you can be licensed as a realtor and a lender. I will never do that because I don't need that craziness in my life. I
Nope.
like having someone to be like, hey, man, we need these documents. Okay, cool. Brian said you have to send documents in. Please do that so you can have a house. Like,
Do the
it's,
thing. Right.
yeah, I'll do
Participate.
this part.
Yeah.
100%.
No, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that ton.
Don't assume that it can't happen. And this sounds weird, but I'll explain. I have a client we closed today, and they received a large amount of down payment assistance, like
Hmm.
a lot. And the house we looked at when we walked through it, I was like, this is going to be a challenge. There's a lot of stuff that has to get done. We're not going to meet guidelines, all this stuff. But they were like, well, we're willing to make some of the repairs. I said, okay, that's good. And sellers are on board with you making the repairs. So it went from, yeah, we're going to buy this house. It's great. It's under market value because we have to make repairs to we did all that and we got $75,000 down payment assistance. So like life changing for these people, right? Um, because we've talked through it, because we figured out the process and made some phone calls. It worked, right? Like if you want to do it and we put everything on the table up front, here's how it's going to happen. People can do it. If you just run away from it because it's hard, you will never know. And I've yet to see a situation you're working with down payment assistance where the answer is no, 1,000%. It just doesn't happen. Like
Yeah.
if you're willing to put the work in, or you want it for its timing or location, we could do it. Um, and I make it simple. I'm like, look, depending on the programs we use, for one sheet of paper isn't it worth getting 100 grand? Probably. So let's do that one sheet of paper and get you some money. Like it's there. Let's use
Right.
it.
Game on.
It's not that hard. It's not hard.
Love that. My thing is
Yeah.
going to be go outside and breathe air and
Yeah.
take a walk.
Absolutely.
That
Yes.
that that
Absolutely.
it's that time of year here. Do
Uh-huh.
that.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
My son and I played blitzball last night. You played blitzball, by the way?
No.
Oh, blitzball's great. It's wiffle ball and real baseball combined. Super
Ah,
fun.
okay. Cool.
It's great. So he loves doing it, and so we played last night. And I was like, oh, maybe I don't want to. It's been a long day, whatever. We did it, and then like today, obviously, it's beautiful outside again.
Yep.
It's perfect. It was so much fun. It's great. You used to be a kid again. It was super fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. And it's
Yeah,
things
it's
like
great.
that where you go, I'm not sure I want to do it. And you come back in, and you're like, that's the greatest thing I've done this month. You know, like
It was
there
pretty
it
great.
is. Yeah. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's just go with it. We've kind of established where we are in the calendar and the year. So I'm doing a tip of the hat to space peoples,
Oh,
astronauts.
okay.
Let's go. So how did the restaurant critic review Dinner on the Moon?
Oh,
Great food, no atmosphere. All right.
I
Second one,
love it.
following it up, because that's
Oh,
kind of
Twofer.
twofer. What is how do you organize a party at NASA?
I love that.
You plan it.
That was great. I'm
Yeah.
using that 1,000%.
Nailed
And
it.
my family is going to groan. That's great. I love it. You plan it.
Oh, yes.
That's
No.
great.
All right. So that's the space theme. Glad they're back. That's super fun.
Yeah,
Uh
for sure.
the forward and onward. And with
Yep.
that, I will say it's quick trip sign off. Not a sponsor yet. Still waiting for the
Yep.
logo. No. See you next time.
See you next time.